The 2020-21 NBA season is the 75th season of the National Basketball Association. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the regular season has been reduced to 72 games for each team, and began on December 22, 2020. The 2021 NBA All-Star Game was played on March 7 at State Farm Arena in Atlanta, and was won by Team LeBron, 170-150. The playoffs are tentatively scheduled to run under the standard 16-team playoff format between May 22 and July 22, 2021. Due to COVID-19 cross-border restrictions imposed by the Canadian government, the Toronto Raptors play their 2020-21 home games at Amalia Arena in Tampa, Florida. Free agency negotiations were scheduled to begin on October 18, 2020, but that date was delayed. On November 9, it was announced that free agency would begin on November 20 at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, with signings permitted starting at 12 p.m. Eastern Time on November 22. The COVID-19 pandemic in North America, which pushed the conclusion of the previous 2019-20 season and playoffs into the fall, had delayed the start date of training camp to November 10, 2020. The preseason began on December 11, 2020, and ended on December 19, 2020. The start of the 2020-21 regular season was delayed because of the COVID-19 pandemic. The NBA initially set a target date of December 1, 2020, to start the regular season. However, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver suggested further delaying the season until at least January because local health orders at each NBA city would limit fan attendance. The NBA receives 40% of its revenue from attendance, and thus delaying the season until it is safer to let more fans into the arenas would ease the financial pain. The NBA also contemplated organizing the schedule such that teams would have less travel, with back-to-back games in the same cities against the same opponent. National Basketball Players Association Executive Director Michelle Roberts also suggested that the season might eventually have to start inside a bubble environment, similar to the 2020 playoffs. On October 13, the NBA delayed the targeted start date of the regular season from December 2020 to Martin Luther King Jr. Day, January 18, 2021. Later in October, Sports Illustrated reported that the NBA was targeting December 22, 2020, as the first day of the season. On November 5, 2020, the National Basketball Players Association tentatively approved a 72-game regular season that will begin on December 22, 2020. The season is expected to feature a condensed schedule so that the NBA Finals could be played once again in June, which will allow NBA players to participate in the 2020 Summer Olympics. The Olympics were postponed to 2021 because of the COVID-19 pandemic in Japan. On November 17, the NBA announced that the 72-game regular season would run from December 22 through May 16. Each team would play 3 games against each opponent from its own conference and 2 games against each interconference opponent. The season would include a 6-day All-Star break from March 5 to 10. While the All-Star Game was initially considered unlikely, the NBA announced in February that the 2021 NBA All-Star Game would be held in Atlanta on March 7, 2021. The schedule will be released in 2 parts. The first half was released in early December, while the second half will be released in the latter part of the first half. As of March 23, a total of 23 games have been postponed. The NBA will stage a play-in tournament for teams ranked 7th through 10th in each conference from May 18 to May 21. The 7th place team will play the 8th place team, with the winner earning the 7th seed. The 9th place team will play the 10th place team, with the loser of that game being eliminated. The 7th-8th loser will then play the 9th-10th winner, with the winner of that game earning the 8th seed and the loser being eliminated. The playoffs will begin on May 22 and operate under the standard 16-team playoff format, with 4 rounds of best-of-7 series. The 2021 NBA Finals will begin no later than July 8. with a potential Game 7 no later than July 22. The following players were named the Eastern and Western Conference Players of the Week. The following players were named the Eastern and Western Conference Players of the Month. The following players were named the Eastern and Western Conference Rookies of the Month. The following coaches were named the Eastern and Western Conference Coaches of the Month. On July 21, 2020, the NBA and Nike announced that the Statement Edition uniforms would switch to the Air Jordan label, as the NBA's plans for the 2020-21 season began to take shape. The Toronto Raptors were denied permission to play home games in Toronto as the Canadian federal government ruled that repeated cross-border trips by the Raptors and their opponents would be a major health risk due to the different levels of COVID-19 cases in the United States and Canada. This is similar to what happened to the Raptors' Major League Baseball counterpart, the Toronto Blue Jays, who were AF